community mining is a national policy. It's a policy of the current government to address some of the challenges of small-scale mining. Now let me say this. We don't give any different type of permit, license, or authorization for community mining. We just give you a small-scale license. But then why do you call it community mining? One, as much as possible, the policy of the government is to ensure that those in the community get to do it. Because you see, there's always this argument that communities, or for that matter as a nation, we are not benefiting from our resources. And then for the people to benefit directly, apart from perhaps the employment they will get from the large-scale mines that are around, and then apart from the fact that the nation will also get some taxes, local content and other stuff, I mean, there are certain kinds of deposits of minerals that as much as possible could lend itself to these small-scale operations. So it is just to encourage folks who are living in the community to do it. But this time around, the fundamental difference, but you get the same small-scale mining license. Maybe the fundamental difference is that you are a Ghanaian, and you're above 18 years of sane mind. You can walk into the Minerals Commission and say you are looking for a place to get a small-scale license, or anybody else, and then we'll give you a small-scale license. But for community mining, what we'll do is that we will normally block or designate a place, quite a very big area, and call it a small-scale mining block. Then what we'll do is that we will engage the chiefs. We will speak to those in the community. We will speak to the district assembly and all the other stakeholders and say, look, this area has been earmarked for small-scale mining, but we want the community to do it. So what we do is that together with the chiefs and some of the elders or influential people in the community, we get them to form cooperatives or companies. And then we will let them submit a formal application. We guide them through the process. And then they go to, we get the license for them. So you might find about 4 or 5 licenses that may be contiguous, or that may be not too far from each other. And then we organize them carefully. Now, you go to some communities, you may find about 100 people, 200 people, 2,000. There's one we want to go and launch next week somewhere in Ashanti. We're looking at 2,000. So that's how, so it's organized like a whole community staff where the chiefs are involved, the people are directly involved, the assembly is involved. Now the reason for this is, one, to make it very easy to identify them and know who is doing what. That's the first thing. Then we register them, then we can get the actual statistics as who is doing what, and then the numbers. 2, then we'll be able to police and then ensure they conform to the law when our inspectors come around, because we know who is involved. We'll register them. And then of course that comes the almighty support services. Now the policy of the government is not just to find a place for them, but to give them support to be able to do it. So last week I told you that we brought some equipment which we are, so Tinga people have got their equipment now.
Oh, it has finally landed.
Yes, it's there. They told me it got there Sunday. I was somewhere in Bolga. So next week, so they are setting it up with all the, yes, you saw the whole community, they were excited, etc. So that's a typical case. For example, they could get as many as about even 10-6 licenses in that area. For now they have about 2. This machine has gone. So it's for the whole community, those who have been registered and working there. We are working with their leaders.
Okay.
Now, let me say this. Before this machine got there, they were using mercury. But I want to stay on course, so let me just wrap up quickly. I will come to that too. So, designate an area, get them as many licenses as much as possible. Ensure you register everybody, get them to form cooperatives or company. We assist them directly now. We organize it for them, and even take them through the permitting process. And the turnaround is very fast. And then also give them these machines to work. Then we will ask them to pay their appropriate taxes. So the concept is to just ensure that the thing is done in a sustainable way, and then we can organize them properly. And the one we've been doing in the past, where an individual comes for license and then he's working somewhere else, and then it's quite difficult to control them. So fundamentally, this is more structured, it's well regulated, government is going to control it, and the government is also going to support them directly.
Yes. Okay. Is there a ceiling to the number in relation to the size of the land?
Typically, you cannot get more than a license. Covers and area no more than 25 acres. So, depending on the availability of land, some of the community mining sites are just 2 concessions. Some are even 10, some are even 15, some are even 20. Particularly where we took where we happen to get a very big land.
Okay.
For example, the Tinga one I keep talking about. It was a Canadian company that left, and then the people already there doing illegal mining. Now you see the fundamental difference here. The company was doing its prospecting, and then the communities were just working there. The company is pretending to be seeing them, and then the guys were also working, also minding their own business. They've been reporting, but it's not as easy to take them out like that. And then eventually, I think the company folded up, so they left. So when they left, we prevented anybody from applying for the place, and then we blocked the entire area.
Okay.
In that area, you could even get as many, because it's a very big area, you can get as many as about 20, 30, 40 licenses.
Okay.
So anything even from 1 to about 20, 30 licenses in an area. Sometimes they'll be scattered, but in the same district. And you could get employment from about 50 to an area that I know at its peak, you can find 30, 40,000 people working. Yes, there's an area in Ashanti. I think about 2 weeks time we'll go there.
Okay.
My officer says there are 10,000 people on the ground. Yes.
All right.
10,000.
Okay, so what happens to those who, because of space, couldn't get onto it, although they are interested in mining at the community level?
Well, there are 2 things. There are some areas, if the lands are available, we give it to them. Let me give you the 4 ways in which we tackle these things. There are specific areas that Minerals Commission has blocked out and designated as small scale areas.
Okay.
So those ones are being given to them. That's the first one. Some areas are quite very good. The mineralization is very good. 2, there are some areas where we require further investigation. We are working with Ghana Geological Survey to do the geological investigation. That's ongoing, and that's what I will call medium to long term.
Okay.
Now there are some areas, in fact most of the areas are being given to us by the large scale mining companies.
Okay.
They said, look, we also want to support this flagship program of the government, so here is some 50 acres or 100 acres. Even some gave as much as about 60, 50 acres.
Okay.
Square kilometers, etc. Like the Obuasi block like this, there are several thousands of them there.
Okay.
And we know who is where and what the person is doing.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm still asking my question again. I didn't really get the response. What happens to those who don't get to, join their colleagues because of space?
Well, we have to find an alternative livelihood project for them.
Okay.
So we have this oil palm thing that we are doing, another agricultural stuff which we rolled out. It's been running for years. Maybe next week I'll talk
subsequently
more. Yeah, we'll talk more about that. And we are not only targeting those who want to mine, and some of them have found a place and some of them have not gotten a place, but we're also looking at what do you call it, even farmers who are living in mining areas, because there are some people who have lost their lands to mining companies.
Exactly.
And they are not what do you call it, miners, but you need to make sure that they find some alternative livelihoods.
Okay.
And these things are happening all over the world.
All right. So how is this community mining critical to solving the problem of Galamsey?
Critical. In fact, that is one of our biggest solutions. I'm saying this because in all the series that we've been doing, I keep telling you that the number 1 problem is getting a place for the small scale miners to work.
Yeah.
Not just a place, because Ghana is virtually empty.
Okay.
The countryside. But making sure that there is some kind of mineralization or some kind of gold there which they can go and work. Because I keep saying this and I want to repeat. If it's just a matter of demarcating an area and say, we found a place for you, go there and work, it will not solve the problem. They need to be convinced that there is some kind of mineralization. Because they are just telling you that, look, it's just a way of trying to tell us we should get out of the place.
Yeah.
Of course, they know what they are doing is illegal.
Yeah.
You see,
they'll find ways and means.
You want to move people from this side and construct a road, and send them to an alternative place to go and sell. You don't have sheds there, or there are no toilets, and there's no security. They will struggle to move as market women.
Yeah,
it's the same scenario here. Okay, it's just the same scenario here. So that is what we are doing.
All right.
And I've told you we've launched 2.
Yeah.
Next week more will be going, and practically between now and the rest of the year we'll keep launching these areas and then permitting them and working.
Okay.
Yes.
Perhaps 2 last questions and then we'll move to compensations and settlements. What are the foreseeable challenges you as a commission anticipate as far as community mining, the way you are doing it now, is concerned?
Challenges, we know what to do. For example, it is not enough to just get them a place to work. Our inspectors must go to the ground and ensure that they are working properly. And I'm saying that is quite easy because we designated a place, we give them the machine. We'll talk about that. I think the main thing is that it is not everybody that you'll be able to get a place to work. That is it. Sometimes we are also trying to convince people to move elsewhere. Because
other communities?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. You're a Ghanaian.
But what if they don't have?
No, they have. In fact, let me tell you, most of the small scale miners that have licenses, they are working from places they don't come from.
Okay.
Yes.
They are not necessarily indigenous.
Look, I have cases where somebody has a large scale mine, and then he took some and said, I want to give it to the community. Yes. Sometimes the community themselves brings sponsors who are not indigenous.
Okay.
And don't let us make this mistake and get confused, or else we'll create a problem which we cannot handle. Community mining does not necessarily mean you should come from the community. But once you are living there, you come from a community. I don't know where you come.
I come from a Jumaku community.
Yes, but if you go to a Jumaku, you find other tribes who are living there.
Yes.
Okay, if you come from my village, for example,
which is
Rara, in the Oti region, you have Gans and other people who are living there. In fact, some of them were born and bred there. Yeah, yes, so they are all part of the community.
Right.
So you cannot say that, oh, you are not a true indigenous, so you come. No, it doesn't work that way. We don't define community based on ethnicity. We just define community based on people who are living there, and they know themselves.
Okay.
They live together, they marry, they do everything together. So they just come, they identify themselves from the company. We are actually helping them. And they are, last week, for example, our cost to even pay some of the application fee for them.
Okay.
Yes, because we want the process to go very fast.
Okay.
And so I'm saying on national television that community mining is not tied to ethnicity.
Okay.
Once you are living the community, you can be part of it.
Okay. Okay, all right. So that clarity is important for all of us. So somebody will ask, when you take one community, for instance, like the one you have just spoken about, was it Tinga? How much of a cost was it to the government to set that up?
Well, to be honest with you, what is causing? They did the mapping themselves. We gave them the land. They were actually there already. So they went there, did the mapping themselves, got their own surveyors. These days we are even saying they need our surveyors who will provide, because we have proper surveyors, professional surveyors at Minko.
Right.
So they brought their own maps. The district officer in Wa, now Bali office now, went there and did the inspection. And he said everything is fine. So it was brought to Accra, and when we processed it and we took it to the ministry.
Okay.
In our case, it's part of our normal job. The officer has a vehicle, it's for his is to go there and whatever. What is going to cost us now is the machinery equipment we are providing for them. Now we have approval for 100.
On those machines?
Yes, 100. 100. It's been approved. The money is available. We're going to bring them.
Each one costing about...
A little over $100,000.
Wow.
A little over $100,000.
So as we speak now, how many are in the country?
No, we got 5
Okay.
after the trials.
Okay.
And then we got an approval now to bring 100.
Okay.
The money has been found.
Okay.
Approval has been given. We are going to bring them. Hopefully by August ending, the first 20 will come. We'll distribute them.
Wow.
And then practically 20 or so, between 20 and 25 every month between now and December. So if the miners are hearing me, we are coming with these machines. We don't need the Chinese. Now, in the course of the week, I'm going to meet the executives of the National Association. We have prepared a draft agreement for them. They will go through, and then we'll sit down with them and have a payment plan which is flexible to them.
Okay.
Then they will have a dedicated account. They will tell their members and they'll pay. So we are working with them.
All right then.
So let me go back. Mid-April, National Dialogue is not a talk show. Now we are seeing real stuff happening on the ground. In fact, next week we are going to have the northern section of the dialogue.
Right.
So we'll be now giving them practical solutions. We'll be telling them things that are happening since middle of April.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, speaking of which, the minerals that are being mined, in this case the gold, at the community level, how is the, for want of a better expression, the booty going to be shared?
Well,
I mean, just so everybody feels that they have not been cheated, that whatever they have gotten from that exercise has been evenly distributed and nobody feels cheated.
let me tell you something. As far as I am concerned, and you'll be shocked to hear this, the most organized group in Ghana today are the small scale miners. They are more organized than any institution or association that you can find.
Really?
Yes, because when I paid a visit to Tinga myself, I went with the minister, the previous minister. We went there. They are very well organized, where the women are selling, and at the time we went there, they were illegal miners. But as I said, we got a place for them finally. We have people who are even serving as security for them. We have people, those who will be transporting all kinds of equipment and all this. They are very, very, very well organized.
So what system has been put in place to ensure
it is not for us to tell them how they will share, organize everything and all those things. They have that system set up already. Yes.
And you can say for sure that going forward,
because we've been working with them for years, so we know how the system operates.
nobody will feel cheated.
No, they are well organized.
So tell us about the system.
Well, they have their executives, they have women reps, they have their presidents, vice president, and they have it not as regional but also even at district level. And they work with our district officer. So how they share the money, how they distribute their work, pay their costs and all this, well organized. In fact, this money is going to be collected by the association for us. Yes. Very well organized. So you can sleep over that.
By extension, my fellow Ghanaians watching. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
What they need is a help, not how to organize themselves. That, trust me, very organized people.
Okay. All right. So there is certainty that will not affect the cohesion and the way and manner you expect that this community mining will go.
Yes. And let me add this. They have some of the finance educated people you can find in their midst. They have lawyers.
Okay.
They have mining engineers, sociologists, and all kinds of people among the executives. Yes, so they don't need your lawyers.
All right.
They don't need your engineers. They have all those things.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
What I need is for you to give them the machine.
Okay. All right. So the Chinese, are we systematically moving them out?
Yes.
Or by virtue of the arrival of the machine, they automatically have no use?
Well,
because we hear they have ventured into it themselves.
Well, let me tell you
the
this.
machines.
Now that Tinga people have gotten this machine, which is over $100,000, they don't need the Chinese to do that. Now, if we were not to provide this machine for them, then that's when they will go and see the Chinese, take some money, and then the Chinese will bring their money, and then you will see the Chinese on the site working.
But the involvement of the Chinese, not just in the provision of the machinery, I think they are not found on the ground. Some of them are into the illegal mining themselves. We see them in the videos.
In fact, before the program even started or got to this stage, there are instances where somebody even pick his license. Not just, apart from those who are working where they don't have licenses, there are instances where some Ghanaians take their license, take money from the Chinese, and then he leaves the place. Then the Chinese comes there, he will do whatever he wants. Yes.
So what is being done about that?
Oh, well, let me say this. No, nothing is perfect, but at least I can tell you on all authority that since Operation Horse started, we've been able to take most of them out.
But not all.
Well, I don't know.
As we speak now.
Well, in fact, last week some people were being arrested.
Yeah.
They were paraded.
Yes.
You know, I saw the pictures and all those things. So they keep working and taking them out. Yes, but there's one thing the minister said. The minister didn't say that they will solve Galamsey overnight. Because we keep saying and we keep repeating. It is one thing taking them out of the area or kicking them out because they are not doing the proper thing, and it's one thing ensuring that you find a place for them to work.
Okay.
So we are doing that in tandem. The security people are doing their work, it's their job, arresting people, kicking them out, getting them prosecuted. Then my job is to make sure that we get them a place to work and we support them.
All right.
So the two are happening concurrently.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So it therefore, leads to the point that eventually the communities themselves will be benefiting from this, and by extension the whole country. Am I not right?
Yes, and then we'll be able to tax them properly. You see, in the past, let me say that in some communities they are rather even protecting these illegal miners and then helping the Chinese. Now they are the ones calling us.
Okay, to come for them.
They will call us and say, Mr. Isi, I am calling you from here. I've spotted some 2 Chinese or Burkinabes or Nigerians here.
Okay.
Then I'll give them the hotline or I said, look, talk to the district officer, and then we arrange the security. They go for them. Yes, we get calls now every day from chiefs, from committee members, or just ordinary Ghanaians. It's surprising. In the past, they were rather protecting them.
Okay.
Yes, because I don't know how a Chinese can go and rent a place. Even there are areas where they even have casinos.
In those areas?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so as a commission, speaking of ending Galamsey, I know you just spoke about the minister's point that it was not going to be solved overnight. But I want to believe that there is a timeline you've given yourself, right? By which time, at least, we should see a near end, a tangible near end to Galamsey.
You can say every day.
Okay.
Every day.
All right.
The equipment are coming. So, and for that matter, you're giving them the support services. We are finding places for them to work. We are launching a place. At least in about 2-3 months or by the end of the year, we can confidently tell you that, look, since the dialogue, maybe 200,000 people, 100,000 people are working here. We built this place for them this year. I mean, post-April. We built this kind of machines. They are paying these taxes. Then you know things are moving.
Okay.
Okay, so for me it's every day.
It's every day.
There are no timelines. If every day you're taking people from the illegality and then formalizing them, assisting them, and then the figures keep going up, then at least you are now telling them that, look, 6 months on, I've been able to give permits or approvals to 40,000 people, 20,000 people. I've been able to give them this or this support. Then gradually you are taking some off from working in these so-called red zones. But let me repeat, the water body, the forest, they remain no-go areas. Don't dare.
Okay. All right. So on that note, we will shift briefly to look at compensation and settlement. But let me also at this point announce the phone line 0302 98 60 65. 0302 98 60 65. In case you just join us, this is a breakfast show on Ghana Television, and we are having a conversation with the Minerals Commission, whose acting CEO is with us in the studio in the person of Mr. Martin AC, educating us on the sector and what is being done post the consultative dialogue which was held in April this year. Now, yes?
Before the call starts coming, the gentleman who called last week in Pesos, if he's hearing us or he's hearing me, our officers have been trying to reach him. The number is not going through. So if he can call us again, we will try him. Because that day we tried to call the number, it's not working.
Okay.
So if he's hearing us, he can call again and give us a proper number.
Okay.
And then remember that the biggest, one of the issues people complain about is this mercury. I'm saying the antidote to stopping the use of mercury is this machine. So think that people are going to stop the use of mercury.
I can't wait to see pictures and videos.
I want to take you there and do a documentary. In fact, when we go there, we'll bring it to you. So now they are not going to use mercury now.
Right.
How are we not providing solution?
You have.
Yeah.
If indeed all that you are saying is anything to go by, I mean, that would be a huge intervention.
So I told them that they shouldn't tell us that we have mercury there, so we want to clear that one from the system. No, they should stop using the machine. Yes.
I hope you made that clear to them.
Yes, of course. But you know, some of these are people, they die hard.
They die hard. So you are suspecting that
they just waste their time because it's 25%. In fact, for now, the tail.
But they die hard.
The ones they've left there over the period. The ones that, if you like, you call them, yes, we call them waste. Right. But in mining, whatever, we call them tailings. The waste there, we've asked that they put those ones first and get the good. Before even the ones that they are mining, they process those ones too. Yes.
But Mr. This point you have just raised about some of our people, the stubborn nature of some of our people, how are you going to ensure that they don't maneuver to use the mercury? What is it about the mercury that would make somebody in Tinga use instead of the machine?
Well, the point is this: he cannot afford to buy that $100,000 machine. That is why he's using the mercury. They put the mercury.
But I thought you have made a payment.
Just a second. They put the mercury on the rock before they take it and go and crash it. Now they've been told that what you are doing is not only dangerous, but only gives you about barely 35%. Now they're giving you a machine, go and reprocess your waste, and then now stop using the mercury.
Yes,
I don't think they'll use the mercury again, because it's not going to help you.
Do they have that appreciation of the situation?
Yes, because before we took the machine, we went and did the demonstration, and they were even thinking that we put gold in the machine. We put gold in the machine. They couldn't believe that this is true. So then the gentleman did the demonstration, and then we asked her, okay, do it yourself. Then after that they said, wow, this is very sweet. So they're going to put the mercury away.
They're going to put it away. Okay, let's hope that they do.
Perhaps maybe sell it to those who are still using it before we get there.
Before you get
a machine for them. And then the good thing about the northern part of the country is that most of them is hard rock.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have this water issue. Yes.
Okay. Hopefully this should come out well, and as you expect, as the Minerals Commission.
It's coming out well. You should see the pictures.
Yes. Did you say we're going to go on a field trip or something?
What we'll do is that we'll do a documentary. Very soon.
Right.
When the 25 and maybe somewhere in September, we'll go around, do a documentary and show you all the areas that are benefiting from these support services.
Right.
And then at least we'll tell Ghanaians that this is what is happening now.
Right.
And that is not just a mere talk.
Exactly. Yes. It's not a mere
That's why I'm saying we have things to show.
Okay.
For now you can call it something later, but give me 6 months. We'll see massive improvements.
Okay. We will hold you to your word. This is national television.
No, but ask yourself, if the machine is $100,000, multiply it by 100.
All right then. I'm sure my friends will do the mathematics, but for me, I have to speak to our first caller. I have to speak to my first caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
All right, I'm in Tsunami, but I just came to Accra just yesterday.
I need you to speak up a little. What's your name?
Mr. Sapon.
Okay, Mr. Sapon. Let's hear you.
Sapon, yeah. My question, I think you asked a legitimate question that how does the man make sure that they don't use the mercury again? I think I wasn't satisfied. I think there should be some measures to be put in place that will make sure that they don't get back and use the mercury. My question is that, yes, just as you asked that, I was also...
Sorry, the line has...
The guarantee people who now the community people, how do they make sure that the guarantee people do not return to go and use the demarcation that they have demarcated for the community? How do they make sure? Are there measures that have been put in place to make sure that the guarantee people do not, because they don't come from the same community, they come from outside. So how do they make sure that they don't return? Thank you.
Thank you too. So 2 in 1.
Two things. One, I'm saying what you are doing is not only dangerous to your health.
As the using of the mercury?
Yes, but you get 35%.
Okay.
And then a study was done which shows that practically almost all the mining communities we have mercury. That is not the only thing. It is also killing us because it has entered the food chain. We need to find an antidote. Government gets that. We brought a machine. So for example, Tinga has one. We've taken one to Tapa. So they are not going to use the mercury again because it's going to recover over 90%.
How do you ensure that they don't? Because the issue of
it's just like telling you that you are using trotro and I'm giving you a car. I don't see how you, and then I'm fueling it for you. How will it still be burning trotro?
Okay.
Because you are being told what you are doing is not only dangerous, but you only get 35%.
Okay.
Now you have gotten a machine that will protect your health through the process. And secondly, too, you will recover more. And then now you're also being told that the waste you have there, you can use it. Now, the second question, he's saying that some of the people who come and do Galamsey come from outside. In fact, that is the more reason why the president said community mining.
No, his question is how would the community people ensure that the process does not permit people who would come and indulge in Galamsey, illegal mining?
That is what I'm answering. In the first place, where they are working was given to them by Minerals Commission. We give you a machine. The people who are working there are from the community. How can you come from outside and come and do it? Because it's a legal site.
Okay.
It's a place that has been properly.
So they themselves will own it to the extent that they won't allow.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What they were doing initially. Was illegal.
Okay.
Or if it's not illegal, perhaps somebody was working there now. Now you are being put in some kind of a structured situation.
All right. Let's speak to this caller, Mr. Isi. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning, friend. Okay, so we don't seem to have this person on the line.
The whole essence of getting the chiefs involved, getting the district assemblies involved, and the community is to prevent foreigners from coming to overrun the place. Okay, where we go, there's no way you go.
Hold on for me. I have heard his voice. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Let's hear you, sir. Are you listening to yourself from your television set? If you can lower it and then let's speak from the phone. Oh my God, he's listening to himself.
No, we don't just get up and go and launch a place. We work with the district chief executive and assembly, and in fact it's the chiefs who preside over the ceremony. So they are told this is for you. Okay, don't allow for.
And they know themselves.
Yeah, they know themselves. They know themselves. In fact, when you get to my village today, they know you don't come from the community.
Right.
They know yes.
They know a stranger.
They know everybody.
All right.
Yes. My worry is not so much about the areas where they were working illegally and then we regularize for them. You should rather be worried about areas where there are mineralization, nobody is there, and then we have foreigners or people coming from Burkina Faso to come and build them. Those are the areas we are getting for them.
Okay.
So it's a community thing.
All right. Thank you. We have just about 5 minutes, and as we promised, let's use just some few minutes to touch base on compensation. The Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, sets out this. Can you just educate us a little on what it says?
Now, apart from the law says that the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, that if you are going to impact anybody in a way, you need to compensate the person. And that was 2006. Then in 2012, we came out with a legislative instrument. That is what we call Minerals and Mining Compensation and Resettlement Regulations, LI 2175 of 2012. It sets out clearly the process that you have to go through. Basically, this is two things: compensation and resettlement. So, for instance, once you get your license, you have 2 weeks to inform anybody within the area that you have a license, and then a person has 60 days to put in a claim. Anybody who has an interest, and an interest could vary. For example, the person is not the landowner, but his family, the landowner himself has an interest. Okay? People have houses, etc. There may be public property, etc. So they are supposed to lodge their interest and say, look, I own this, as to all this. Then you have to now enter into negotiations and agree. Once you agree, you have what we call it 30 days to pay the compensation. If you don't do it, then there's always this interest that is yielding. But this is how it works. You are not supposed to start work until you compensate the person.
Okay, hold on for me. I'm sorry. Forgive me. That's a friend on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Great. Can you lift your voice up a little and tell us your name and where you're calling from?
It's already down. Yeah. Hello?
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Accra.
Okay, go ahead. Make your point, please.
Hello? Hello?
Please make your point.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please make your submission. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my contribution is about the issue of the machines. It's always about $100,000 per one. Yeah, and the issue again is about people, foreigners coming into cities to work, Yeah, so that's which one.
We can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, last time I'm on this program, and I know that some people go behind government and give foreigners places on local mining. So what are the government doing about it? Yeah, because we have a lot of things here we have to, but we can't be able to purchase it because that's why we can't get first price. Why is it like that? That's my question.
Well, I don't hear him, but I guess I heard him saying people go behind and give foreign license.
Yes.
As far as I am concerned, and I'm saying this authoritatively, no foreigner is supposed to get a small-scale license. So any foreigner who is doing something, as far as small-scale mining is concerned, is working illegally. Now the law is very punitive. There's nothing like a fine alone. You will be fined and then you go to jail. So that is the illegal mining we are talking about. But foreigners are allowed to do large-scale mining.
Large-scale.
They can acquire a license to look for, that is prospect, or even do proper mining. So if he's saying that people are going behind, then he's basically telling that it's illegal. I would love to have the information. Or as Ghanaians say, there are where is the thing taking place? where, etc. So you can give us further information.
Okay.
If I even leave, they can send it to GBC, get it to me.
Okay.
We will send the security there.
We'll do that.
Yes.
But we have to end it here.
But if he has evidence that somebody has acquired license and is a foreigner, he should bring it.
All right then. Thank you. Obviously, we will need to do more on this education.
Next week.
Yes, and we are happy that this program has come at this material moment. We have been speaking with the acting CEO of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Martin AEC. God willing, next week he will return to continue with the education. But for now, we'll go for a little break and return with the next item on the plate. Please stay.